G'day guys, welcome to the channel on this sunny Monday afternoon. Up in the shed, just working on the Type 3, the Notchback. I've put some filler on the roof because the roof was an absolute mess, probably from what you've seen in all the previous videos. I'm sanding that, I'm just waiting for the sander to charge. So I've gone through 2 batteries today, so I'm just waiting for another one. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you what I've done on the transaxle because I've been working on that as well. And I pulled the transaxle out of it. The gearbox apparently is fine, so is the diff. So all I've done is give it a little refresh. New bearings, new seals, new shims, new daisies in the transaxles there. So let's have a look. I'm going to have a look around this end. So what I've done here, I've got a new gasket in there. In the later transaxles, there's actually, on this part here, there's an O-ring around the back of it that sits in about here. But in the early ones, they just had a gasket. So I actually silicone coated that too. So just to take up any of those little imperfections. And then I put, there was 3 shims that came out of this. I've replaced it with shims. And you've got to get the drag right on here, that drag, and the drag's really nice. So that was, I just put it back the way it was, and I've put a new daisy wheel in there behind there just because the other one was a little bit scored. And it's just a refresh anyway. So let's go up and have a look at the business end of the trans. So this one here is, I put a new master cylinder. I put it all apart because it's 1963 and I think the person who had it was living next to a river and there was a lot of rust. So I've cleaned all this up. I haven't sent it away to be sandblasted and powder coated because you know what, at the end of the day, no one's going to see it under there. No one. No one comes up to you and says, let me pull your wheel off and to have a look at your backing plate. And in here, I'll take these off. I've loosened them. So we'll just do that. And I'll show you the important part of this seal. The gasket between this housing and the backing plate is not on the manual I've got. They don't have them. But VW guy said put them in anyway. They came with the seal kit. So I put one in on the front side of this just to make sure that everything's probably as sealed up as it can be. But there's one critical seal here you need to look at. That one. This seal, that gasket doesn't, by the manual, doesn't actually need it, but I've put it in there anyway. And you've got to actually cut it to go around. There's a tongue there. It's got to go around it. So that seal, it doesn't look like much, but it does a lot. And this thrust bearing or spacer also has an O-ring there, which does sealing. And that sits into a beveled groove inside that. So it always goes, you've got 2 of these. You've got a small one on the inside at the back of the backing plate, inside the axle tube. And you've got this wider one that goes in right there. Okay, so I'll sit that there. Now we'll put this O-ring on. And this is the critical O-ring. So make sure you get it on nice. I use a bit of grease on there. You don't need to. But it makes the O-ring seat and it basically stick there. So now I'll put, so you can, what I do with this though, is a trick, because they tend to pop a bit, is I put that inside. This is a new seal and that's a new oil deflector at the front. That wobbles around a bit until it locates on the axle. So stick that in, bit of lubricant. Bit of lube goes a long way, and don't forget to clean out that oil drain hole because that'll drain any fluid that leaks down the axle tube out away from your brakes. Right, so now remembering to keep that O-ring there, right? And then just do up your bolts. I clean all these up with a wire wheel just to make it look pretty and so I didn't have to get dirty fingers. But as you can see, look, once everything's clean, there's a little bit of grease. You can wear the gloves, but you don't get the same feel through the glove as you do with your bare hands. Okay, so that's what I've been working on. And obviously I've given it a bit of a tart up and paint up and all that. That can go back in later. As you can see, the motor's sitting out, down under there. That's probably after the trans. I'll be sending that away to get rebuilt. And then we'll go up here to the top. And this is what I've been working on. So you see, I'm new to bodywork and it ain't my forte and I don't really care. But I'm going to get that. I've been using 120 grit to get the high spots off. I'll get this, no worries. So what I'm going to do is get the roof. As you would have seen on my previous videos, the roof was like a golf ball. There was a lot of rust. So this is going to take me a long time to get right, but I'm happy with that. And today I'm just sanding. When the battery goes flat in my little orbital sander, I go and charge it. So look, that's where I'm up to. And look, I hope this helps you guys. But yeah, that's where I'm up to the Type 3. There's a lot of work. I mean, I've done the rear. I put a patch panel in there. It came up nice too. That's all been undercoated. And this section in here, that was an absolute dog's breakfast. But that my wife helped me with that, with filler, sand, lots of sanding, lots of blocking, and a lot of finicky stuff in these little corners around here, around there. But it came up all right. So, well, there you go. I'll just go over here again. And don't forget, look, if you like what you see, if you don't like what you see, it's all right, just comment. And we'll keep this journey going. I've got another beetle channel I've got going because I've actually finished my beetle, and but there'll be ongoing work with that. So hopefully that channel will keep going too. And that's about it for today. So I hope to see you next time. Hooroo.